This stuff matters deeply. I'll see you straight afterwards. Jonathan, first of all, congratulations on the new book, and thank you so much for joining me on the Erin Molan show.
Thanks so much for having me, Erin. Great to be with you.
Talk to me, first of all, about this book and what it exposes inside of Iran, and in particular, the illegally in place regime who took over without any element of democracy in sight.
If you Google Iran or the Islamic Republic today, you're likely going to read news items about the Islamic Republic's dangerous and expensive nuclear weapons program, its outrageous proxy network, its foreign policy. What you won't read about are the people of Iran, who they are, what their aspirations are, what these 90 plus million people want, whether they share views with the Islamic Republic. And the thing that I found in the 3 years of writing this book, Unveiled Inside Iran's Women Life Freedom Revolt, is that the gulf between the people of Iran and the Islamic Republic of Iran is extremely wide, and not enough people know about it. So very much the motivation behind writing this book was to illustrate how extraordinary, courageous, resilient, and amazing the people of Iran are, and how resilient they've been in their 46-year quest for freedom.
How difficult was it to get people to speak? Because as we know, particularly those who live in Iran, it can be punished by death.
There are a lot of consequences for doing many things inside Iran. Least of all, speaking to, at the time I was a journalist from the West. Speaking to someone from the West comes with consequences, and I spoke to the people. Some of the people I spoke to didn't want their identity revealed. They wanted to use a pseudonym. But some people who had in the past spoken out and extremely brave and courageous and knew the risks involved were very happy to speak to me, and because they know that it could potentially lead to an improvement in their lives and in the lives of millions and millions of people who've risen up, not just at 2022, 2023 after the killing of Mahsa Amini, but have risen up time and time again. And these people rise, and they know that their protests, their form of insurrection comes with severe consequences, but they still do it nonetheless.
What do the people of Iran want?
I think at a very basic level, they want freedom. They want the freedom to be able to choose what they do, where they work, what they wear, what kind of relationship they have with the outside world. And these are freedoms that they just don't have. So you'll see some people who took part in the Women Life Freedom protest movement who wanted to continue to cover their hair. But the key point is that they wanted the choice. And that choice has been taken away from them since the very founding of the Islamic Republic. The Islamic Republic was formalized in sort of February 1979, and almost immediately the Supreme Leader, the founding father of the Islamic Republic, the revolution, waged war on women. They were one of the first victims and targets of this movement. And what you saw immediately after, by March 1979, March 8th, International Women's Day, you saw hundreds of thousands of women storm the streets because and chant that this was not the revolution that they signed up for, that they wanted. And they've been fighting ever since then. What we saw happen in 2022, 2023 was very much a sort of continuation of this multi-decade war and sort of battle against the Islamic Republic.
Israel weakened that regime significantly, then assisted by the US, who came in the recent war. There are those who say that we are as close as we have been ever to the potential of overturn of this regime, this terrorist regime. Do you believe that we are still close? Has that window now passed? Was not enough done to weaken the regime? What do you think?
I don't think the window has passed. I think you're absolutely right, Erin, that the Islamic Republic was significantly weakened militarily by Israel in Operation Rising Lion, and subsequently the United States in Operation Midnight Hammer. But I think real change will absolutely and only come from within. And while the domestic situation inside Iran is extremely dire, the people are going to continue to rise up, and since the 12-day war, there's been a catastrophic water crisis, environmental crisis, gas and electricity shortages, and these are the very issues that will really bring the people out to the streets, because you're no longer talking about politics or ideology. You're talking about people's very existence, their survival. And when you have Lake Urmia, which is one of the Middle East's biggest lakes, almost vanishing, and when you have the country's president Masoud Pezeshkian warn that Tehran, a mega city of 9 to 10 million people, could run out of water within weeks, and people are struggling every single day, that's when you see a real uprising. And that's when you, combined with all of the political and ideological unrest, that's when I think that the regime is going to be at its most vulnerable.
And I think further solidifying that argument is the message that Prime Minister Netanyahu sent to the people of Iran post that 12-day war, which was, our war is not with you, our water technology. He spent a lot of time during that message to them talking about the technology that Israel has, and that if the people were to uprise, they would go in immediately and help with recycling of water and providing clean water and that kind of thing. I want to ask you now about your other existence, not just as an author and journalist, but spokesperson for the UN. Explain to me how that role works, and anything to do with the United Nations, particularly if you come from a rational, common sense perspective, or from Israel. I mean, they must be paying you $8 billion a day, because that's what you would need to put up with the rubbish that they dish out.
I can confirm that's not the salary, Erin.
Okay, I withdraw my application. Then I had to put one in.
But it's definitely an uphill battle, and there's no shortage of hostility that we face there, and we're on the precipice of a very busy end of September with high-level week that's going to be preceded by another two-state solution convened by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and France, which is a continuation of the New York Declaration. And unfortunately, you're going to have this amazing, rare opportunity of all the countries' leaders, shot callers, decision makers coming into one place. Ideally, the idea would be for all of them to talk about the world's most pressing issues, solve all of the world's problems. But unfortunately, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be making these declarations, these meaningless declarations that have no action attached to it. For example, one of the New York Declaration stated that they support a Hamas-free Palestine or a Hamas-free Gaza. There's no plan as to how you bring about a Hamas-free Palestine or Hamas-free Gaza, and which means that Israel is the one, even though they don't like to say it, the signatories, is Israel's the one that actually has to do the work, actually has to dismantle this terrorist regime that Israel has said it's been doing. One of the reasons for this war, and instead these member states don't want to help bring about, figure out a plan to destroy this terrorist organization and bring home the hostages. Instead, you've got these empty statements taking up the podium, taking up important, valuable time, and it's unfortunately going to end up being another one of those circuses or charades, as opposed to bringing about real meaningful change.
And as Mark Rubio said, he's in Israel at the moment, when he makes the point that all of these, ridiculous statements from countries that, will make absolutely no difference except to embolden Hamas. So yes, they can say that, we want a Hamas-free Gaza. Well, then why have you run a protection racket for them for 2 years? Why have you, refused to hold them responsible for the entirety of the situation? Anyway, I'm preaching to the converted with you, absolutely. Tell my viewers and my listeners how they can get your book.
The book is available for pre-order now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, all other major retailers, wherever you are in the world, and it comes out on September 25th, which coincides with the 3-year anniversary of Mahsa Amini's death and the Women Life Freedom movement. So it's if you want to learn more about the people of Iran and not just the Islamic Republic, I highly recommend picking up a copy.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, I watch with not interest, it's not a strong enough word, but I pray daily for the people of Iran to have their opportunity to rise up and to have what is rightly theirs, their own country, their own nation. Thank you so very much, Jonathan. Really appreciate your time, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Erin. Really appreciate it.